One study of 120,000 nurses found those who had been working night shifts were more likely to develop breast and colon cancer. Your chance of prostate and ovarian cancers are also increased.
Warren, time for bed.
Dad, I don't want to sleep yet. Can I play Minecraft a little longer?
I know you think sleeping is just lying there, but it actually serves important functions. In 1965, a 17-year-old boy named Randy Gardner stayed awake for 11 days and 25 minutes as a science project. That is the longest time a human has gone without sleep on record. Do you want to guess what happened to him, Warren?
He became really tired?
His eyes started to lose the ability to focus. He started to lose his sense of smell and the ability to identify things with touch. He became uncoordinated. And as the experiment went on, he became paranoid and even started to hallucinate, meaning he started to see things that were not real.
Wow! Really?
Yeah. He was lucky. Most likely his brain was able to take micro naps for a few seconds at a time during the 11 days. People have died from less sleep deprivation. In 2014, a devoted soccer fan died from a stroke after staying awake for over 2 days to watch the World Cup. In experiments, poor cats forced to stay awake died after 15 days without sleep.
How can they do that to cats? That's scary.
Yeah, those are not nice experiments. When you sleep, the demand on your body decreases. Your blood pressure drops. Your heart rate drops. Your muscles relax, and your body adjusts its hormone levels to prepare for another day. When you force your body to sleep less, it disrupts all those things. And over a long period of time, this can be harmful to your body. Now do you understand why we need to get enough sleep?
Yes. Can you tell me a little more as a bedtime story?
Sure. Our ancestors didn't have lights, TVs, computers, or iPads, so they usually went to sleep after it became dark. They would wake up around midnight, chat a little with others around the fire, and then go back to sleep again. But for people in modern times, there are more and more fun things to do at night. So we push our bedtime further and further back. Yet we still have to wake up for school or for work in the morning.
So we sleep less now because we have more things to do at night?
Exactly. Humans are the only species on our planet that purposefully deprive ourselves of sleep. Researchers have estimated 2/3 of the adults around the world are not getting enough sleep nowadays.
Is that really bad?
Well, let's look at what happens when you don't get enough sleep. 2 times every year, there's a sleep experiment performed on many millions of people.
Really? That many people?
Yes, it's called daylight savings. Researchers have found a 24% increase in heart attacks on the day after we lose 1 hour a night, and a 21% decrease in heart attacks on the day after we gain 1 hour a night.
Wow, that's crazy.
Other studies found the same thing. In Japan, people are used to working very long hours. Japanese researchers have found people who consistently sleep less than 6 hours per night are 4 to 5 times more likely to have heart attacks than well-rested people.
Did they study things other than heart attacks?
Good question. Yes, researchers found other correlations as well. Your risk of cancer is also increased if your normal sleep pattern is disrupted. One study of 120,000 nurses found those who had been working night shifts were more likely to develop breast and colon cancer. Your chance of prostate and ovarian cancers are also increased. The World Health Organization now calls night work a probable carcinogen to humans.
What is carcinogen?
It means something that causes cancer.
How can sleeping less cause cancer?
No one knows for sure, but scientists suspect it has something to do with the suppression of our immune system. When a healthy person gets 4 hours of sleep compared to a full 8 hours, his body has a 70% drop in natural killer cell activity. The name natural killer cell may sound scary, but they're helpers in our body who hunt and kill cancerous cells. So when these special agents become less active, cancerous cells become more active.
Oh, I see.
In another study, people who slept for only 6 hours per night for 1 week were found to have distorted gene activities. A lot of genes actually, over 700 of them.
What are genes?
Genes are instructions for our bodies passed on by our parents. Each person has a unique set of genes. They can affect our health, appearance, and even personalities. The genes that were downregulated or decreased were those that help our immune system. The genes that were upregulated or increased were those associated with tumor promoting, heart disease, or increased inflammation. So again, you see a lack of sleep can have terrible effects on our immune system. This is why when we're sleep deprived, we are more likely to become ill with infections as well.
So how much sleep is enough?
Well, different people need different amounts of sleep. Jack may feel perfectly well rested after 7 hours of sleep, but Jane may need 9 hours to feel the same way. In general, infants need 12 to 14 hours of sleep per night. Preschoolers need 11 to 13 hours. Children between the age of 6 and 11, that includes you, Warren, need 10 to 11 hours. Teenagers have circadian rhythms that make them go to sleep later, but they still need 9 to 10 hours per night. For most adults, we need around 8 hours per night. Children who don't sleep enough can have problems later in life. Researchers found children between 4 and 6 years old who sleep less than 10.5 hours per night have a 4 times greater risk of developing obesity by age 15.
Why?
Lack of sleep affects many hormones in your body. One of the things that activates is called the endocannabinoid system, which increases your desire for food. Leptin and ghrelin, hormones that regulate our appetite, are also affected with lack of sleep, which results in an increase in our sense of hunger. Sleeping less also decreases growth hormone levels in children, so you may not grow to be as tall as you should. It also increases your body's cortisol level, which is a hormone we produce when we're under stress. Of course, when your body is under stress, the natural response evolved over hundreds of thousands of years is to get more energy so you can run away from lions or catch that prey more efficiently. So you eat more. There's also a strong correlation between teens who don't get enough sleep and a higher level of anxiety, which can turn into clinical depression later.
Wow, lack of sleep can cause so many bad things.
That's just the tip of the iceberg. Lack of sleep is also linked to premature aging, Alzheimer's disease, stroke, and diabetes. Not sleeping enough can also significantly affect a person's reaction time. In sleep studies, people who sleep 7 instead of 9 hours have their reaction time cut by half a second. This can be the difference between life and death when you're driving at 70 miles per hour.
It causes Alzheimer's disease, like with great-grandma?
To be more accurate, it likely increases your chance of Alzheimer's. For humans, the brain weighs just 2% of the body weight, but it uses 20% of the body's energy. When your brain uses energy during the day, it breaks apart something called ATP and leaves something called adenosine. Throughout the day, adenosine level continues to rise in your brain. This is called sleep pressure. Once you reach a certain point, you will start to feel sleepy. And when you go to sleep, your brain clears the buildup of waste products like adenosine, so it can be ready for another day. When people drink coffee or tea, the caffeine in the drinks fools their bodies into thinking their adenosine level is lower than it actually is. So their brains say, hey, we can stay awake longer. Let's keep going. But you can only fool the body for so long. Once the caffeine wears off, their bodies realize how much adenosine had been building all this time. Their brains then scream angrily, we have been fooled! We need to sleep now! And those people feel overwhelming exhaustion and that crashing feeling. Overall, sleep does a superb job in preparing our brains for learning. It helps our brains focus better and absorb our learnings more efficiently.
I see.
There's a disease called fatal familial insomnia. It's a rare disease caused by a mutation in the gene for a protein called cellular prion protein. People who have it cannot fall asleep like we do. The symptoms gradually become worse and worse until they totally lose the ability to sleep. During the whole process, usually lasting months to a few years, they develop dementia and then die.
Sometimes I can't fall asleep, Dad. Do you think I have that disease?
I don't think so. It's a really rare disease. Most people have trouble sleeping from time to time. There are a few things we can do to help ourselves sleep better. 1. Stick to a regular sleep schedule. This is why we ask you to go to bed at the same time every night, Warren. Your body gets used to it and gets ready for bed around that time each day. 2. Sleep in a cool, dark environment. When we sleep, our body's temperature naturally drops. Sleeping in a cool environment makes this happen more easily and can help us maintain a cooler body temperature better. Some studies have suggested 65 degrees Fahrenheit to be the ideal temperature, but it varies from person to person. I find 65 degrees a bit too cold. 3. Avoid exciting activities or bright lights right before sleep. 4. Avoid looking at cell phone or iPad screens right before sleep. The blue light from their screen reduces the production of melatonin, which is a natural hormone our bodies produce to help us fall asleep. And that's why we tell bedtime stories in a dark room, Warren. 5. Avoid going to sleep super full or super hungry. These will likely make falling asleep harder because your discomfort will keep you awake. And lastly, avoid caffeine a few hours before sleep.
Got it, Dad. I'm going to sleep now.
Good idea, Warren.
Can you tell me about dreams next time? I want to know why we dream.
Okay, if you go to sleep now, we can talk about dreams next time. Then I'll tell you about the different stages of sleep. It'll be interesting.
Here's my joke of the day. Why do seagulls fly over the sea? I'll give you some time to think about it. 3, 2, 1. The answer is... if they flew over the bay, they'd just be bagels. Yum. Thank you for watching. Please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons below. You can turn on the notification bell if you wish to be notified when our next video comes out. Thanks.